The music is playing. The birds are singing in the sky. It must be time for Shakespeare's coffee break. Oh, we are back. We're in our weekly format. We are having a great time. You should see my guests on the other screen. They're all Muppet arming, and it's great. It's wonderful. I'm gonna show you that right now. Look at them Muppet arming and having coffee. It's grand. But friends, it's a wonderful show. I am Shakespeare. This is my coffee break. Let's have a nice noisy slurp. Come in close to the mic. Oh, my guests are doing it too. It's fantastic. Goggling the coffee. Oh my god. Well, I'm just gonna bring them on right now. It's the Acrobatrix. I don't know if that's physically possible, but let's do it anyway. Okay. It was weird. That was weird. All right. Yeah. But you know what? I regret nothing. How are you doing?
Yes.
Yay! So good to see you.
Likewise, I haven't seen you since Louisiana.
Yes.
I know.
Well,
well,
okay, but wait.
It's okay.
Anyway,
yeah, but we
wouldn't be seeing you anyway since Louisiana.
I know. No. Yeah, I wouldn't see you until New York.
That's right.
I know. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. You had to go there.
Can we all just,
yeah. That is. Yeah. Oh, that's one of our favorite.
It's like
places.
a breakup. Like I feel like I've been getting dumped over and over again. Like, it kind of feels like this constant thing because like you look back on it with this like, oh, like I wish that I can feel the way that I felt when I was there, you know.
But it's a breakup where they say it's not you, and there's nothing you could have done to change it.
Well, yeah. At least this is not. It's not you. It's me.
Yeah.
It's totally you.
Yeah.
You're a toxic person. It's like it's unsafe. This is an unsafe relationship right now for all of us.
Right.
We all need to go to long distance relationships. That's how it is betwixt the festivals and the performers and the artisans and all of it and the patrons. It's a long distance relationship right now, but that just makes the heart grow fonder, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, sure. Yeah. It's like you're crazy. Crazy Englishman.
Yeah.
Fond.
Yeah. No. The
bank account is so fond right now.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I mean, it is that like. You know, homecomings are awesome. And when we do get to do it again, it's going to be lit. But that feels so far away. And
it also feels like right now, as of right now, there is a possibility that we may see you in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Yes. A skosh. I would say un peu.
Yeah.
Un peu.
Yeah. So
possible. But yeah.
So if it does happen, though, the question is then like, first off, we've been looking at places where there's county fairs that are going to reopen, and the state guidelines and regulations say that if this Renaissance Fair does happen, it's going to be nothing like what we have had as a fair before.
Exactly. I mean, there's.
I'll take it, but it's going to be interesting how we do this, and also as comedians, and we are healers. You know, but at these fairs, like what is the line of jokes you can make? I mean, about this kind of things, about the plague or whatever. What's a joke, or what's too soon, or what is just I came to the Renaissance Fair to not even think about this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And so as the artist, you may feel compelled to talk about it because you need to get stuff out. But then, as the audience member, it's like, no, I don't want someone to do a Renaissance cover of "It's the End of the World as We Know It."
Right.
Although someone should get in on that, like right now. Like, come on, people, do it. But
if you're gonna throw a coin to your Witcher, which is not a good song.
No, it's not.
It's terrible. You should do the End of the World. Yeah.
Yeah, do that. I mean, let's just play Into the West from the end of Lord of the Rings.
I got you one better. How about Jenny of Oldstones? You know, Thrones. It's never wanted to leave, but it's before they're all gonna go die. Yeah, Ed Sheeran sang it.
Yes, that would be very good. And also, a lady is shouting you out, saying hello to you. dear friends.
Hello.
She's saying hi, hi, Leah and Etienne. So there we have it. So yeah, no, it would be very. It's going to be very hard for any shows that are able to happen are going to have to be so, as you said, remarkably different from what we have heretofore been used to. I mean, just spacing out the audience, among other things. How are you going to do that? Like, deal with food lines and everything. It's going to be quite interesting.
Yeah.
There's a lot more questions and answers. I think something that I keep going back to for my own mental health is that it's not my job. I don't know how to handle 1,000-person events anyway. You know,
let alone 30,000 person events.
It's,
you know,
it's not what I'm trained in. It's not what I've studied. You know, my job is to make the people in front of me really happy. So I try to keep my brain on that when I get into the what if land.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's also that we, like, with these festivals, we in general have very good communication with the festival owners, with the site crews, with the stage management. I mean, there's just so many layers, and I feel that, like, when we show up, we have a good communication of what do you need us to do, and them just saying, here's what you need to do. Like, we can go back and forth. It's
clear roles.
Yeah. With some festivals, because my stage needs have been incredibly minimal. I'm like, what do you need? Space. All right, cool. Do you prefer a type of stage? Yes, I do. But if you can't do that, that's okay. I'll work. I'll make it work. Am I amplified? Not amplified? I'll make it work either way. And this year, for the first time, people it's like, oh, so Shakespeare, what do you need? It's like, well, here's my concerns, and I just want to see if what is being addressed and how they're being addressed and all of that. And they're like, this is way more communication from you than we are ever used to in the past. It's like, yes, I have become incredibly thorough and annoying.
Yeah.
Your show is so heavy on your audience, though, too.
Yeah, I just was talking to a person who we share a stage with in Colorado, a hypnotist. I mean, she brings 12 volunteers right up on the stage and has them sitting elbow to elbow and interacting with each other for the entire show. There's no way that show can happen under
exactly.
It's done.
Yeah, there's two versions I was thinking of how, like, my show could work, because I bring so many people up on stage to be the cast members. And one way is just I stand on stage, you do not come on stage. I stand on stage and I point at you. You still maybe stand and deliver lines. We could work that way. And then if Romeo is on one side and Juliet's on the other side, we can have fun bits like, oh, we are separated by so many people. Our love can never like make new jokes based on the situation. Fine. But then the other version is, all right, it's not very audience interactive anymore, other than I say, and then the audience says this, and it'll just become me running around playing all 15 parts, which I effectively do. It's just now take the audience participation down 5 notches and give myself a heart attack over the period of half an hour. But
what about puppets?
That has come up as in like, and so then like, this is Romeo and I'm Juliet.
Yeah.
Kiss me, Juliet. No, I'm not gonna. And so for whatever reason, this is Romeo and I'm Juliet. And it's like, why are we doing this? Because I want to kiss. It's like, no, this is not going to happen. Like, we can make it awkward. Like, I will make it awkward.
I like the idea of audience members on either side of the audience, like, you know, shouting at each other.
Maybe a combination there in somewhere. I don't know.
Somewhere in the middle.
I don't know.
But it's going to be dependent upon the need, how each stage is set up, like, or like what kind of distancing and everything. So it's not going to be easy when we go back into it.
One of the things where we are kind of lucky, when we started, we have 2 different shows, technically 3, but essentially 2. And for the very first one, when we created it, we decided no audience volunteers in the show whatsoever.
Just us.
Because especially when you're starting out, that can kind of be a crutch where for variety performers.
Very much so.
For jugglers, where you just kind of get someone up on stage, you make fun of them a bit and you make them do work, but you don't really need them. You just make it, you filler it out. And we wanted to give ourselves the challenge of not doing that and making it really hard for ourselves and coming up with 40 minutes of solid material. And that has kind of like,
we're happy about it.
Yeah, like right now.
Oh, okay.
we
this is cool.
don't have that issue.
I did the same thing. In this quarantine period, luckily, as you can see, I have this very nice yard area I can work in.
Lovely.
Up to and including picnic tables I can jump up on. So I feel very much at home, like I'm at a Renaissance festival.
Where geographically, where are you right now?
We're in upstate New York, on the edge of the Catskills, at the moment. So, it's absolutely gorgeous. Yes. So it's very nice. We are able to largely. Well, we were quarantining here before quarantine started because where we moved to because of my wife's job, it was just like, here's a nice house in the woods. And so we moved into this nice house in the woods, and we have next to no neighbors. It's just like, hooray!
Yeah.
So we can go for runs and walks and see nobody for hours and days at a time. And it's just, this is grand. I like it. But I've been like testing material in the backyard of just the standard shows I've been doing, but just here's new ways I can do them. So Romeo and Juliet, being just that it's the longest show I've been doing. I've been doing that one since 2006. So it's the one that has the most neural pathways beaten down in my head.
Yeah.
That one,
we get that.
I was able to do it after a couple of practice rounds. I was able to do it and filmed it, and it looked okay of just me doing the show, and just had created new ways of audience interaction. So I filmed it for the Life's Affair, Andrew McKee's production that he does, and for a lot of the audience interaction, it was me running up to the camera going, all right, now this happens, and then I ran away. Just trying to break the Z-axis a bit.
Yeah,
and run in and out that way.
That's really interesting.
And then other shows, it's like, all right, I might not ever be able to do this one in the age of quarantine, but then there's other things I can do, such as I could do fully filmed versions where I'm playing every character and throwing on wigs and masks and beards and whatnot, and it'll just take me a week to do it.
Right.
What's interesting is that not too long ago, because back up a little bit, is our foundation is in street performing, is in buskers. We've done like the Edinburgh Festival, we've street performed Pier 39, amongst other places, done street festivals. So there was a virtual buskers festival that happened online. And what was interesting about it was you could see what worked, what didn't work, and the cliches of buskers, because you were watching act after act after act.
Mm-hmm.
In just everything was just right there in just glaring form. And I think what was really interesting, the thing that came out most of all was who was really confident in themselves and their own material, and who really needed that audience saying, you're good. Does that make, like, if there was like if they didn't really? Right, if they because like we're going to be doing some of these shows, these Zoom shows and things like that, and it's like you deliver your joke, you say it with confidence, you pause because you know on the other side of that camera someone is laughing, or do you deliver the joke like I can't hear a laugh, and then be like, and you would watch people just wither.
Yeah,
you just watch them wither.
So I love that so much, because so much of my show is built on awkwardness.
Yeah, and
then because my show is less of me telling a story and more of an ongoing running monologue of just here's my internal conversation I'm having with myself, and since I don't have another person on stage to hold it with, I'm now just holding it with the audience. So I'm telling the story. Oh, I'm distracted. We're gonna be talking about this for a while, and then I'll tell it, and then I'll do like building up to this joke, and it completely fails, or it'll get like this smattering of applause, and I'm like, I don't need your pity applause. So I'm recording a show and get up to that joke, and there's literally no one there to laugh, and so and it's just dead, and I'm like, now you might think I'm pausing for applause, but now I'm just letting it get awkward. And just make it fun and weird like that.
That's good. And then coming into the camera like that,
because I love playing with the form, and I think that this really allows us to exercise new muscles. Among other things, we're all getting really adept at technology.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
our learning curve is very short. Yeah.
It has to be. It has to be for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming this is one of your fans here, tuning in to say, with fun symbols, hello.
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 And then Jillian Villon said, sorry this virus has impacted you guys so much, but thanks for being so flexible and still wanting to make everyone laugh and smile. And then Adam Bly is saying, good morning, my lords and ladies. Hello, Adam. And then and Lady Prue said, throw a coin to your witcher, not a good song. Wow, shots fired.
Mm-hmm.
So we will come at you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But we're going to pause the conversation here for just a moment. We're going to talk about the new projects coming up. But first, she's got to pay some bills. So we're going to be back in just a moment with the Acrobatrix after this. Because, friends, today's show is brought to you by Hill Storage and Rigging Company. Hill Storage and Rigging Company in Middletown, Pennsylvania. No job too large or too small. You can visit them at hillrigging.com. Enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing your equipment is in skilled and experienced hands with services from our machine movers and erectors in Middletown, PA. Established in 1967, Hill Storage and Rigging Company is a family-owned and operated full-service millwright serving industries in the Mid-Atlantic states and beyond. We are a woman-owned small business. Hours of operation on Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Available Saturdays and Sundays by appointment only. Again, go to hillrigging.com or call area code 717-944-7676. That number again, 717-944-7676. Hill Storage and Rigging Company. No job too large or too small. Thank you so much to Hill Rigging for being the sponsor of this show. If you would like to become a sponsor, I love them so much. Yeah. If you would like to become a sponsor of the show, send me an email to shakespeare@shakespeareapproves.com or go to my main Facebook page and send me a message, facebook.com/shakespeareapproves. And while you're there, go and give me a like. Also, like this show, Shakespeare's Coffee Break on Facebook. Go to YouTube, like and subscribe. Just go do all the things. Also, while I'm throwing links at you, go and like my friends who are also very courteously and generously co-streaming this, the Zenith Players. You can find them at facebook.com. Oh, wrong thing. Click that off. Facebook.com/Zenith Players and zenithplayers.com. But now let's get back into our conversation with the Acrobatrix.
Oh my God.
Let's go! Oh my God, I love you guys! Explosions everywhere! Oh,
Playing with the Z-axis.
play with that Z-axis.
Have you been catching up with TikTok? You know what TikTok is?
Yeah, I know what TikTok is. I don't particularly like it, but I know it.
What is you, kids?
Gather around the TikTok with me, children.
TikTok dances is all about the Z-axis. I don't know.
All about the Z-axis.
It really is. And a lot of like if you watch a TikTok dance, like it's a lot of like this, and then like forwards and backwards.
Oh, I love that.
It looks really good on camera.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. Well, then I'm going to have to go start my own TikTok channel.
Shakespeare TikTok. I want it. I'm here for it.
I will do stupid things.
Oh my gosh.
It's not going to be smart. It's going to be like me doing, is this a dagger I see before me, or rather like alas, poor Yorick, but instead of a skull, I'm going to hold out a D20.
There you go.
I'm going to be like, yes, be nerdy with me, children. Be nerdy with Shakespeare.
Let's put that in the oven and bake it a little bit. Let's One of the writer's room.
Oh yeah, we're gonna explore. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
We're working on it.
Adam Bly. Speaking of TikTok, Adam Bly said, "Follow my TikTok, Adam Bly 6."
I'm not on TikTok.
Adam Bly, I gotta applaud the moxie. Well done.
Yeah, no,
Get yourself out there.
Yeah.
So you all now have a new project that you are working on, and that is your Patreon.
Yes.
Patreon.com/Acrobatrix. And let me take down that banner just slightly, and let me take that one off so we can see the whole thing.
Yeah.
Exclusive content you're going to have on there. Fabulous gifts. And you're starting things off at the $1 level.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
It's important. We want as many people as we can to get involved, even if that's just $1 a month.
And
exactly.
The thing is like $1 a month. you're probably not going to miss it, but it is good. That $1 is going to make a huge difference, not just to us, but also to the people there are people who can't pay $1.
Exactly.
And they can't afford to be part of the Patreon, and they're going to be able to get content for free via Instagram and Facebook and other things. But yeah, it's every little bit counts, and it helps support us, and it supports the community that we are a part of. Because, for example, like to create some of this content, we hire photographers, videographers, costume makers, graphic designers, artists. So it trickles down to a broader community than just us.
Yeah, and it very much is the rising tide that raises all boats to support small businesses, which you very much are.
Yeah.
Out of every $10, I think the numbers are between $750 and $850 of it gets respent locally seven times.
Absolutely. Yeah, like the way we look at it is like $1 or $5. I mean, I can't even remember when it was like $5. It's more expensive to park your car for $5. So it's like, I'd like to think that what we do is more amusing than parking your car. I'd like to think that, or at least
it's gonna bring you more joy.
Have you ever parked your car in Boston? That's entertaining.
Oh, yeah. I've been towed in Boston many times.
Oh no, that thankfully has never happened to me. Oh goodness gracious!
Yeah.
But you also have a video. If you've been kind enough to share it with me, and I'd like to share it with everybody here, if that would be all right. So let's bring up this video. Where'd it go? Up there it is. All right, we're going to bring it up here, and let us play this video.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very sweet.
My name is Thunder. I will help you with the story. I will appear on the stage. I'll dress you up.
And that was done at the New York Renaissance Fair, if I'm not mistaken.
That was.
Yeah, that's our final trick of our show that was filmed for our DVD.
Yeah.
At the New York Renaissance Fair.
Oh, that is wonderful.
And there was a reason I wanted to really play that clip, is because one of the ways that this quarantine has affected us is we can't practice that trick because, like, all the gyms are closed, all the circuses are closed. Right before our tour was canceled or postponed or whatever you want to call it, we were in peak physical shape and ready to go, ready to perform that trick.
We're planning on going to Georgia this spring.
The Georgia Renaissance Fair. And the thing is that it's not just a matter of lifting weights or doing push-ups to do tricks like this. It's also, for that one, it's this communication. You have to be able to do this.
The timing drills.
Timing, the breath. There's just so many minute pieces of communication that you have to do it, and you have to do it in a certain way. There are mental cues. There are just things you go through to be mentally focused. Like even that clip, if you listen to it, we shared that right next to our stage is a woman who, in her booth, she has parrots and parakeets and cockatiels and all sorts of exotic birds. And throughout our show, those birds are screaming. They're just screaming, and you have to be able to not hear them when you're on stage and focus through that.
Similar to Screaming Children.
Yeah,
our show often.
And so the thing is when we go back to these fairs, we're going to have to almost start over from zero because we haven't been able to practice or perform these tricks for so long. So there's a little bit of fear and like, okay, here we go. Like, do we still got it?
That's a fear I have. I mean, with far less dangerous physical stakes. Every single time I saw a new show, especially coming in after my off season, which tends to be wintertime, where it's like I'll do some school shows and everything, but I'm not going every weekend, 8 hours a day, plus school shows in the middle. So keeping, in peak fighting form.
Yeah.
But so for me, that's one thing I like about this, just because I'm performing in some aspect every single week.
Yeah.
I mean, so among at least, if nothing else, I'm keeping my English accent in top form. So.
And it's getting used to being seen and being viewed in terms of a performance audience relationship, and that gets rusty just as a concept.
Yeah.
Oh, it really does. I foresee not the first performance or even the first day, but the second performance or the second day, being back at a fair, being crap. This is awkward, isn't it? I don't know how to do it. Like the first one, I'll get through on pure adrenaline.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's gonna feel so amazing. And then
the second day, because you haven't been projecting on stage for months,
my voice is gonna be fried.
You're just like,
he's gonna hurt so bad.
We're just like pounding back the Ricolas.
It's gonna be so terrible because it's like all right, 20 years of training doing this out the window. It's like why are you doing it like you're an 18-year-old kid for the first time on stage? Guys, I'm excited. It's like no.
Right.
Oh, goodness gracious. So you two got your start in as being with Cirque or with our circus, or like I know little bits.
Or got our start separately?
I mean, we met.
All.
Yeah, we met at a circus school in San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
At the San Francisco Circus Center.
In 2012.
Yes. Beautiful. It's in Coal Valley.
Yeah.
Very expensive area of the city.
Oh, San Francisco is an expensive city, so that's saying something.
Oh yeah,
can't live there anymore. It's
as soon as we found each other and really decided that we wanted to partner up, we moved out of there very quickly. We're like, great.
Well, it was also this because San Francisco had become so expensive and gentrified, the school was no longer able to a degree that it used to be a professional circus school. If you wanted to become a professional circus performer, chances are you're not coming from, you don't have a lot of money, and you have enough money to kind of live in a crappy house, work a job, and pay your tuition. But San Francisco was so expensive, you couldn't afford to live there. So the quality of students, the quality of teaching just plummeted because the only people who could afford to live there were tech bros and tech coders. So
it became a recreational space for alternative fitness.
And it was
but we left and we developed our show pretty quickly. It all happened pretty fast.
Yeah, fast.
And we did our first Renaissance Festival that fall, and then we just continued.
Kept going from there. We would train, but one of the things about us is we would always take a few months off. We would always take a 3-month sabbatical to train, to learn new skills, to write new jokes.
And I had contacts up in Canada, and that's where we ended up spending our second winter together. Yeah, and then our third, fourth
in Montreal. And we trained with Cirque du Soleil.
That's amazing. And that's where you're from, Etienne. You're from no, you're not? I thought you were.
Everyone always does. There's the joke back when I would do my solo show was I'm half French, half American, and normally that makes me Canadian.
Oh.
So I guess everyone thinks, oh, he's Canadian, but it's like, no. The French side is from Normandy. Up in the north.
Oh, very nice. So you've got some Viking in you. Very nice. I like it.
Yeah, legal. Yeah.
And Snow White Light is saying, Etienne, she likes your quarantine hair.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, see.
It's very long.
Yeah,
it's so long now.
So Snow White Light, one of the things we're going to be doing later as a poll is, will Thunder have long hair or chop it off?
I think a mohawk.
Yeah, we're thinking maybe ponytail Thunder.
A ponytail Thunder!
You know?
Oh, all right. Do the whole thing of like shave the sides but let the top stay long so that it can look long, but then like really get it up into like that incredibly waxed tall mohawk right there. That would be amazing.
Those are really tough to maintain.
I know, but think how cool it would look.
Oh,
come on, my inner child who likes 80s post-apocalyptic movies is demanding this.
If I was going to go 80s, what I would do is shave everything except like this lump right here at the front. And then, because that's like, you're going full on Vince Clarke of Yazoo.
This would be amazing.
era, not upstairs at Eric's.
Snow White is saying keep it, and or rather she's and then Susan Hill is saying woot Montreal, and then Sally, a mutual fan, is saying braided spikes.
I like it.
Ooh,
That
okay.
sounds like a lot of effort.
It does, but if you have someone doing your hair, then we go. And Snow White is also saying tall mohawk.
Okay. All right. Well,
I always laugh at how on a festival day I'll wake up and like my pre-festival routine of like makeup, skincare, hair, all of that takes like a good hour, and then Etienne like stumbles on and like throws on his headband and is like done.
hey, there's some gel in there. Some gel.
Yeah, it takes me when I'm really doing the hair properly and everything. So to like have the appropriate amount of Shakespeare floof and everything, and to sculpt the beard and everything. What would you say, about 40 minutes to get into costume for me? 40 minutes costume and hair, love? Yeah, she's like, yeah.
Do you do like Friday night beard prep?
Often, yeah, just so I don't have to do anything in the morning with it. Because the hair will sometimes be perfectly accommodating and floof. I want it floof and held with hairspray, and then sometimes it's a good 20-minute process just teasing it and to get it to have the appropriate amount of floof.
So how for us, like a day at the Renaissance Fair is just because of the physical demands of what we do is extremely regimented.
Yes.
My like tea breaks are scheduled.
Everything is extremely regimented. It's also things like breakfast takes place like we're leaving like at this time. It will be a piece of fruit, then it will be oatmeal, then it will be an hour later, one hard-boiled egg, and then an hour later, a second hard-boiled egg. It's like because you're leaving time for digestion.
I should do that.
I mean, so, yeah, so
don't.
I am in trouble if I don't do that.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I am in trouble.
Yeah.
No, I will often. My Renaissance Festival morning is usually either a bagel or a bagel sandwich. Like put something on it.
Yeah.
And not like a bagel with cream cheese. I mean, the bagel.
Yeah.
Don't do anything to it. Drop it in the bag.
Dry bagel. Yeah,
I like it because I can dip it into my coffee, and that is magical and wonderful because my people are Pennsylvania and New York Irish and Jews. So it's just like, this is what we do. It's just like, thank you. So it's letting out my inner New York. But them notching on that. Sometimes that is all I will have until the very end of the fair day. Other than repeated amounts of coffee and water and I usually am good and err on the side of water versus coffee, but at the Louisiana Renaissance Festival, coffee is easier to find than water.
Yes, this is true.
Yes.
Well, the other thing, we have to be careful about coffee because it just makes you
get real piped.
It makes you jittery.
It
makes you shaky.
Trying to do things.
Before Acrobatrix, I had a juggling partner, and we would do a 2-person juggling show. And if either one of us had coffee between shows, usually both of us, but our juggling just became really, really, really fast.
Yeah.
And that's not a good thing.
No, I would imagine not. Goodness gracious. I should be regimented with my food intake. I'm not. I'm very, very poor at it. When my significant other, my amazing off-screen wife, is at a festival with me, then my food intake is much more regulated, much more regimented, because she's making sure I eat like a normal person and not like an idiot teenager, and or just not eating at all. But yeah, I will often go no actual food betwixt eating something in the morning and then end of the day eat dinner.
Crazy.
And then with the amount of miles I often get in a day, because I'm circling the fair constantly. Do
you have?
There are days where it's like my low days for a big fair like New York or Louisiana is 6 miles. My big days for them, the biggest day I had was 15 miles.
Woo!
So are you,
Yeah, I'm just constantly
do
going.
you have like a Fitbit or something, like a pedometer or something?
Oh yeah, I constantly have on, and I'm wearing it right now, my Apple Watch, and so I can look at it. During the show. So I set timers on it. Like my show itself is for as ad hoc and improvisational and interactive as it is. It's very regulated because I don't want to overstay my time on stage.
Right.
You don't want to run into that domino effect. So I set it at. So I try to give myself 22 minutes. So it's from when I start the show.
Yeah.
To when I end the show. It's 22 minutes. So I give myself a 21-minute timer.
Okay.
So it's buzzing, wrap up.
Yeah.
No matter where we are on the show, find a way to wrap up.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then get to the end. That gives me time then to pass the hat, sell any merchandise I may have, depending on the festival, and then clear the stage while the other person is setting up.
Yep.
And
we all do that.
oh yeah, and it's fun because you can tell the difference between folks who've been around for a while and folks who are new, because it's like the folks who are new, it's like, well, I was given a half an hour, that means I have it half an hour. It's like, no, you don't.
No, you do not.
Hey,
That's not how that works.
horror story time. Horror story.
All
time.
right,
Horror story.
do it.
So we were performing. This is our second year performing together, and we were at a Renaissance fair. And it was the opening day, and we had just finished our show.
Trying to figure out what story this is.
Just finished it.
What story is this?
And just as we started to pass the hat, a drum and bagpipe corps with Scottish and Irish dancers struck it up and marched right through our audience. Right up onto our stage. And obliterated
the entire end of the
everything.
show.
Obliterated everything.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, I think it was Scotland the Brave. That do 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 do.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
That
that was yeah, they didn't know better.
Okay.
Oh,
But yeah, they
Sorry.
got they learned.
Oh, yeah! Wow! Holy smoke!
Yeah.
My worst horror story is nowhere near that bad. No, mine was just.
We got more.
Yeah. I have lots of little ones. Like one of my favorites is there was a performer, very nice fellow. Obviously not going to say any names because I don't want to embarrass anyone. But very nice fellow. He was new to the circuit at the time, and he was towards the end of his set. Cool. And all of a sudden got the biggest laugh he had gotten the entire set, which meant in his head, keep going, they love you.
Oh yeah.
And I'm looking at my watch, I'm like, dude, you got about a minute, maybe two, wrap it up. And he kept going and going and going. And so he's into my set, and he kept going and going and going. And so finally I look at my watch, and if I were to have taken a stage at that moment, I would have had 15 minutes I could do. So
now I want to know who it is.
He wraps up. He wraps up. This was about 7 years ago. It does not do this anymore. But he wraps up. I take the stage and say, "Hey, lords and ladies, I'd like to invite you all to come back to my 3:30 show."
Right.
Yeah.
And I just leave.
The next one.
So and this person still around?
Oh yeah, he is.
Okay.
He's a very nice guy, and he comes up to me afterward. He goes, "Oh my god, I went into your time slot." I'm like, "Yeah, a little bit."
Yeah.
A little bit.
Well, normally, I mean, one of the things that we do is hidden in the foliage. Is we have clocks that are all over the place. So like,
you have to.
Yeah.
Because anybody can lose track of the time. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
And it's just important. And I think one of the reasons why Renaissance festivals work so well is that they are so military timed that they don't feel like it.
Yeah.
You know, it feels so organic and relaxed and cardboard and drywall, but it's very specific.
Yeah,
it is. It really is.
There are moments where you go off script because a moment happens.
And you have to.
But
you have to.
At the same time, you're looking at that clock back there, going, "Okay, let's take a shortcut. We'll take an end run around."
Oh yeah, I have.
The two of us.
I have parallel tracks of the show running in my head both times. One, if everything happens exactly as I imagine it. Two, what is actually happening.
Yep.
and then also the third with the countdown timer. But my favorite thing is once you're used to a festival by a day or two. What time is it? What am I hearing? All right, cool. It's 1:30. Someone's like,
oh, you hear this for 2 years, so it has to be 2.
Yeah.
Like, you know what's happening.
Celtic Legacy is playing the Hokey Pokey, so it is
3:45.
Yes.
And you are quite correct, Lady Prudence. Every stage does need a clock. Multiple if you have them, because some stages have multiple angles that you can play. But friends, everyone watching at home, they are the Acrobatrix. They need your love, as do we all. But please go and support the latest venture, patreon.com/Acrobatrix. They have exclusive content. They have gifts for you there. Fabulous gifts. It's not just gifts, it's fabulous gifts.
Up in the mail.
Physical things, not just like a video.
Hey, $5, buy us a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
seriously.
Hey.
Coffee. And let's have a nice noisy slurp. Let's go on here. Oh, this is good. This is good stuff. Acrobatrix, thank you. You are welcome back at any point. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Friends, this has been Shakespeare's Coffee Break. I am Shakespeare, and this is my coffee break. Now, if you have enjoyed the show half as much as I enjoyed doing it for you, then I've obviously enjoyed it twice as much as you did. And that's called math. And whatever you feel the show is worth, a 1, a 5, a 10, for a 50, you can get a part in my next show. The latest one is tonight. Macbeth, Death by Fluffy Kittens. Throw the money into my hat. Go to coffee.com/Shakespeare. That's ko-fi.com/Shakespeare, or become a Patreon of the arts by going to patreon.com/Shakespeare. Speaking of Macbeth, that is tonight. Macbeth, Death by Fluffy Kittens, performed by my theatre group that I've started here during the COVID crisis, the Social Distancing Players. Macbeth, Death by Fluffy Kittens, tonight, live and online, performed as a Zoom meeting. Right here on Facebook, facebook.com/Shakespeare Approves, and on youtube.com/Shakespeare Approves. Tomorrow, we are talking Trek. We are talking Star Trek tomorrow. Brian and I, from the Connecticut Renaissance Fair, are going to be talking what's new in Trek. So tune in at 6 p.m. tomorrow. And then on Friday at 5:30, we, of course, are doing Shakespeare's Shameless Self-Promotion Happy Hour, because I like to promote things. My friends and I are going to be having drinks, making jokes and toasts, and talking about life. And then, of course, on Sunday, join me for Nat 21 Adventures, because the only thing better than a natural 20 is a natural 21. A D&D game played with your favorite Renaissance performers, hosted by Paolo Garbanzo, starring Adamo Ignis, Mab Just Mab, Roger Arson from the Lords of Adventure, and yours truly. Friends, thanks very much for joining me today. We will get through all of this together, and I'd like all of you to just stay calm, stay happy, and drink a cup of coffee. When you go out, wear a mask. Like, here's one of my favorites to wear. Yeah, Starfleet, baby. Oh yeah, let's do this. It's engineering. It's fine.
You're gonna die.
I am not. I am not going to die. It's engineering. It's fine. Well, it's Captain Picard. He doesn't die. So, but thank you very much, friends. I love you. You love me. There's mutual glorious affection. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.